the Mavs tonight in Dallas. Let's go back through this series. Game one, Golden State coming out strong with a 25-point win at home. Steph was one of 7 Warriors in double figures, led both teams in points, rebounds, and assists for the first time in his postseason career. Dallas tried to level it in game 2, got out to a 14-point lead by halftime, but the Warriors stormed back in the second half with the help of a 20-point double-double from Kevon Looney, his first 20-point game since college, if you can believe that. And then, despite Luka dropping 40 in game 3, the Mavs came up short again to go down 3-0. Dallas has not been swept since 2012. No team in NBA history, though, has won a series after dropping the first 3. So it's just a lot of bad news for the Mavs. Let's bring on our NBA analyst now, JJ Redick. So, JJ, the objective is to survive and advance, but the Warriors probably feel a little greedy right now. Let's end this thing already. In your mind, how important is it for the Warriors to get the sweep tonight and give themselves more than a week off before the finals?
Well, I look at this 2 ways. Number one, you want to secure the series win. That's the most important thing, is actually surviving and advancing. You don't want to get in a situation where Luke all of a sudden gets hot, somebody else in the Mavs gets hot. And then the second part is the 2 teams in the Eastern Conference are both really banged up, and they're going to continue to play at least 2 more games. So having that extra week or so of rest relative to those 2 teams is very important.
And I might suggest that in the age of COVID, it's even more important to win and win when you can. You never know who might end up in protocols. Now, as you look at this Warriors team, different bunch than the one that won 3 titles a few years ago. The core is still there, Steph, Clay, and Draymond. Outside of them, the rest of the rotation has really changed. If you had to pinpoint the one thing from the supporting cast that's been the key for them getting this far, what is it?
It's just role players starring in their roles. When I think about the great Warriors teams over the years, I think about guys like Sean Livingston, obviously Andre Iguodala, Zaza Pachulia, Andrew Bogut. They accepted their role and they started it. And now you're seeing that with this year's team. Kevon Looney has been outstanding. Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, of course. You go down the list. Gary Payton, the second before he got hurt, in his role was a star. And as good as those big 3 are, you still need role players to be great at what they do, and the Warriors have that in abundance right now.
Yeah, we saw Moses Moody stepping up. He didn't play much in the first 2 series, and now playing some nice minutes there for Steve Kerr and that bunch. Warriors 11-3 in the postseason, currently -150 to win it all. That's according to Caesars, looking for the sweep tonight. So that's the West. JJ, we're going to get right back to you. First, let's go to the East. Jay?
All right, David, Celtics hosting the Heat, Game 4, Eastern Conference Finals. Heat up 2-1. Marcus Smart out for the Celtics with an ankle injury. Jason Tatum, he's playing. Jimmy Butler, he's playing. Marcus Smart not playing. Derek White will take over early in his absence. Dishing to Jaylen Brown, dishing back to White for 3, and the Celtics are up 5. Under a minute later, White driving off glass. He would score the first 7 points for the Celtics. So that little substitution working well. Over 7 minutes left in the first, off the miss by Max Strus. Jason Tatum gets the rebound, takes it himself. The lead is 11 for the kids in green. Under 6 minutes left, Celtics up 14-1. Strus has it, and then he doesn't have it. That's a turnover. White to Tatum, Tatum to the rim. Tatum and White scored or assisted on 25 of the Celtics' 29 first quarter points. Doing everything and doing it well, but the lack of Heat offense, another story in the first quarter. The Heat missed their first 14 field goals, the longest such streak to begin a playoff game over the last 25 years. And the Celtics were up 29-11 after the first. So, you would not expect the Heat to stay down all night, would you? Oh, the Celtics would. They're up 16. Tatum off of 1 foot. The lead is 18. Boston has the ball again. Tatum has the ball again. Driving off glass. Watch it again. The drive, the finish, pretty. Celtics up 20. Under 7 minutes left in the second. The lead is 17 off the assist from White. Tatum again. 24 points in the first half, his 3rd game of the series where he's dropped 20-plus, and the Celtics are up 24 at the break. So you would expect Miami to come back, right? Well, no, Boston wouldn't. They continue to dominate on defense in the second half. Tatum blocking Victor Oladipo. Peyton Pritchard takes it down the floor, finds Jaylen Brown. Ball game. Tatum at 31, 8 and 5. Celtics get the win. They tie the series at 2. Coach.
This is a 3-game series now, and can't always just flip the mindset when we come off a loss and get a little desperate. And the guys talked about that in the locker room now. We've obviously been here before to string some games together and come out with the right mindset like we did tonight. Obviously, it was apparent the difference. We understand we don't want to go down 3-1, and so guys came out with that physicality.
Human nature plays a part in when you win a game, you can relax a little bit. But obviously when we lose a game, we feel like the next game is do or die. And then we come out and play how we did and things like that. And I think we have to have that mindset going into Game 5 that, it is a must-win game.
Apparently the Celtics can flip that mindset after a loss. The season now 5-0 after a loss this postseason, outscoring teams by nearly 18 points per game. That's the 4th best scoring margin all time following a loss in a postseason. And Jason Tatum has led the way, averaging over 32 points per game in those games, the most in Celtics postseason history. JJ Redick back with us. JJ, you said yesterday that Marcus Smart is Boston's most important player. They win Game 4 easily with Smart out hurt. How were they able to be so dominant defensively, especially without him in the lineup?
Well, they won Game 2 in the Milwaukee series 109-86 with Marcus Smart out, and what a luxury to have 7 great individual defenders on a roster. So Marcus Smart goes down, Robert Williams comes back into the lineup, and his impact was so good last night. I thought Al Horford had one of the best 5-point games I've seen in my life. His defense on Bam was great. Robert Williams, too. He adds an element to their offense, just being a vertical threat, getting behind the defense. But yeah, the Celtics have a depth and a luxury of having multiple defenders on their team that can guard. We even saw Peyton Pritchard getting some stops and some steals. You love to see it.
On the other side of things, the Heat had one of the
sweep of the Mavs. Let's go back through this series. Game 1, Golden State came out firing, won by 25 at home. Steph, one of 7 Warriors in double figures, and he led both teams in points, rebounds, and assists for the first time in his postseason career. Dallas tried to level up in Game 2. They got out to a 14-point lead at halftime, but Golden State roared back in the second half with the help of a 20-point double-double from Kevon Looney, of all people. That's his first 20-point game since college. So an unlikely hero there. And then Luka dropped 40 in Game 3, but it wasn't enough. The Mavs coming up short again to fall into this 3-zip hole. They've not been swept since 2012, but no team in NBA history has won a series after losing the first 3 games. And let's bring in our Warriors reporter now, Kendra Andrews. So, Kendra, the Warriors role players have been stars in this series. We talked about Kevon Looney just a second ago in that Game 2. Andrew Wiggins with a playoff career high in points and rebounds in Game 3. How have they embraced the stage of this postseason so far?
Yeah, David, on 2 separate occasions, Steve Kerr has said the Warriors would not be where they are in this postseason run without Kevon Looney and Andrew Wiggins. Both of them have definitely stepped up their assertiveness and their aggressiveness during the playoffs, but the Warriors will be the first to remind you that both of them were integral to this team all season long. Kevon Looney, he was an Iron Man playing in all 82 games, and Andrew Wiggins, he was an all-star starter. A lot of people seem to forget that. But what makes this even sweeter for them is that both of them faced their own struggles throughout their long NBA careers. Kevon Looney, his early seasons were plagued with injuries and surgeries. Andrew Wiggins, up until coming to Golden State, couldn't find a role that allowed his game to flourish. But now they're both on this stage for the first time, and they're considered keys to the Warriors' success.
All right, those guys, very important, but then there's the core, the championship-winning core 3 times over. That's Steph and Clay and Draymond on the verge of advancing to another finals. What are they saying about the potential of getting there, Kendra?
Yeah, well, when Draymond Green was asked the other day, what does it mean to be 1 win away from the finals? He said, it means just that. We're still 1 win away. The Warriors feel that they still have a lot of work to do. And against a difficult Dallas Mavericks team that really stormed back against the Phoenix Suns last round. So they're trying to not look too far ahead. Steph Curry even said, in Game 3, I whispered to myself under my breath, stay locked in, stay in this moment, because until the Warriors actually make the finals, they say we haven't achieved anything.
Yeah, we know what the history says. You never Lose a 3-0 lead in an NBA best of 7. It just doesn't happen, but you do have to win that game to get there. Kendra Andrews giving us the very latest ahead of Game 4 tonight in Dallas.